Hey everyone, Roosevelt Cooper from Golden Acacia Gaming here. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use ChatGPT in order to run a pre-published adventure for you that you can play solo or with a group without needing a game master to run it. So in this video, I'm going to ask ChatGPT to run an adventure that I have saved in a PDF file. And I'm going to give ChatGPT some directions and see if it can actually successfully run the adventure. So we're at the main screen right now for ChatGPT where it says, what's on your mind? Ask anything. So I'm going to go ahead and ask ChatGPT to run this adventure for me. So I'm going to type in here, I would like for you to run a Dungeons and Dragons adventure for me. I have the adventure saved as a PDF. I want you to read the document and then pretend that you are the dungeon master. When describing the different rooms in the dungeon, do not tell me the name of the room. Simply describe the room to me and let me decide if I want to go to that room or not. All right, so that's what I write. Gonna go ahead and hit send. Absolutely. Please upload the PDF of your Dungeons and Dragons adventure so I can read it and serve as your dungeon master. Once I reviewed it, I'll guide you through the adventure step by step, narrating the scenes, offering choices, and handling the mechanics. I'll describe rooms and areas without giving away names or meta information just as requested. Go ahead and upload the PDF when you're ready. So now what I'm going to do is click on this little plus, which allows me to upload files and more. I click on that. I'm going to upload from my computer. And this is the adventure right here, Goblin Cave. Gonna double click on that and then hit set. Great, I've read through the adventure, Goblin Cave, and I'm ready to serve as your dungeon master. Please tell me, who is your character? What class or race are they? Do they have any companions or are you playing solo? Are you starting from the town of Swath or already on your way to Murky Lake and the cave? Once I have that, we'll begin your adventure. No room names, no spoilers, just story and strategy. All right, so let me tell ChatGPT my characters. Here are my characters. Breathing is a level 1 druid. Was a level 1 human druid. Grom is a level 1 orc barbarian. Rainfur is a level 1 tiefling warlock. Vasha is a level 1 elf ranger. We will start from the town of Swath. Perfect. You are now the leader of a party of 4 level 1 adventurers. Breathing the human druid, Grom the orc barbarian, Rainfear the tiefling warlock, and Vasha the elf ranger. gathered in the humble village of Swath. where rumors of ghostly bandits and a dark wizard have begun to stir fears in the hearts of farmers and travelers alike. Alright, so the first scene, the village of Swarth. The morning mist clings low to the fields surrounding Swarth. The scent of wet earth and chimney stone fill the air. Inside the Broken Stump Inn, you sit at a rough wooden table, finishing a simple breakfast of eggs and barley bread, when a stern woman in a patchwork tabard approaches. Captain Lee Ravenclaw of the town militia eyes your party with measured confidence. You look like you're capable. These so-called bandits aren't just highway robbers. They're organized, fast, and odd. The magistrate won't let us march into the forest, but you're not on his leash. If you find their lair and deal with them, we'll owe you. The magistrate might even reward you handsomely. Outside the inn, a weathered druid named Soren sits beneath a twisted oak, carving patterns into a walking stick. He beckons, breathing over, and mutters, "They dwell near Murky Lake, in the forest's belly. Not long ago, the trees whispered of unnatural chants and goblin blood. Follow the forest's edge. You'll find the path." What would you like to do? Number 1, gather more information around the village. Number 2, head straight to the forest, seeking the trail to Murky Lake and Goblin Cave. 3, buy or prepare supplies before heading out. So we're going to go ahead and just head out. So I'm going to say 2. Into the swarthing forest. You depart Swarth under the dappled light of morning, boots crunching fallen pine needles as you step into the thick embrace of swarthing forest. Tall evergreens block much of the sunlight, casting long shadows over the narrow path. Vasha leads the way, bow in hand, eyes scanning for danger. After about an hour of careful travel, Rainfair points out something strange. Tracks, light but consistent, pressing into the underbush. Goblin feet, many of them. They lead deeper in, winding towards a darker patch of the forest. You follow the trail another half hour into the tree's part. There through the midst you spot it, Murky Lake, its black surface still as death. Across the lake stands a grotesque stone face carved into the cliffside, a goblin's maw, wide open and half submerged. The water licks against its jagged teeth. A faint trace of smoke drifts from within, suggesting a fire somewhere inside. A rotting rowboat is beached at the lake's edge. It looks serviceable, barely. What does your party do? 1, take the rowboat across the lake towards the cave entrance. 2, scout the area further for another entrance or clues. 3, set up camp and wait for nightfall to approach under cover of darkness. You can also split actions. Example, 1 character scouts while the others prepare. Let me know. I'm going to take the rowboat across the lake towards the cave entrance. Number 1. Crossing the lake. The old rowboat creaks under the weight as Breven and Grom begin rowing slowly across the glassy surface of Murky Lake. Rainfair keeps his eyes on the cave, its grotesque mouth, and Vasha knocks an arrow, scanning the darkness ahead. As you draw near the entrance, the air turns cold, and the scent of damp stone and wood smoke reaches your nose. The mouth of the cave swallows a narrow inlet of water. Beyond it, a dim tunnel rises slightly from the lake, dripping with moisture. Passive perception check. Vasha notices something. Perched in the shadow corner just ahead, a goblin sentry grips a short bow. His ears twitch at the splash of oars. His eyes widen. With a croaky shout, he raises the alarm and fires at the boat. Roll for initiative. You're still in the boat, just at the edge of the cave's mouth. 1 goblin is standing on a stone ramp inside, about 30 feet away. He has cover from the shadows and will try to hold you here until reinforcements arrive. Please give me your party's initiative rolls, 1 for each character. Breven, Grom, Rainfair, and Vasha, or tell me to roll for you. So I'll roll for myself. Breathing, rolls a 17. Grom, rolls a 9. Rainfur, rolls a 19. And note, Rainfur is a she, because ChatGPT said he. And then Vasha rolls an 18. Thanks, got it. Rainfair is a she. Here's the initiative order. Combat order. Rainfair 19, Vasha 18, Breathing 17, Goblin Sentry 13, Grom 9. You're all still in the rowboat just at the edge of the cave. The goblin is 30 feet away on a stone ramp, partially obscured in shadow behind partial cover. Rainfair's turn. Rainfair is seated but ready, bow in hand. The goblin is visible but has cover. Would you like her to fire her bow at the goblin despite the cover? Disadvantage unless you take an aim style action. Cast a spell. Let me know if she knows Eldritch Blast or any other cantrip. Hold her action until a better spot presents itself. Leap into the water or try to climb up the stone ramp. Alright, so Rainfair does know some spells. So I'm going to have Rainfair cast Magic Missile at the goblin. So Rainfair casts a spell. She casts Magic Missile using a first level spell slot. Rainfair raises her hand, her eyes glowing faintly with infernal energy. With a sharp command and arcane tongue, 3 glowing darts of force spiral into existence and launch towards the Goblin Sentry. 3 darts hit automatically. Let's roll. All right, so I don't want ChatGPT to roll for me, so I'm gonna tell it, do not roll for me. I would like to roll for myself. Let me roll for Rainfur. Damage. Absolutely, you're in full control. Please go ahead and roll 3d4 plus 3 for Rainfur's magic missile damage. Let me know the result and I'll narrate the outcome accordingly. Alright, so we're going to use the magic missile. We're going to roll. We got a 2. We got a 3. And we got a 2. So 3, 4, 5. So 7 damage total. Oh. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, so 7 damage total. That's going to be force damage. 7 force damage total. Perfect. Rainfur chats the incantation and unleashes 3 glowing darts of force. They streak through the damp air and slam into the goblin's chest and shoulder. Thump, crack, pop. He stumbles back, wounded but still standing, snarling in pain. His leather armor is scorched and blood seeps between the plates, but he's alive, barely. Vasha's turn. The goblin is 30 feet away, wounded but upright, bow in hand, standing on a slightly elevated stone ramp in the cave. Vasha is still in the boat. What would you like her to do? All right, so Vasha is going to go ahead and fire the longbow, even with the penalties, because she is really good with bows. So I'm hoping that she will be able to hit despite whatever penalties ChatGPT may be giving me. All right, so she's got a +5 to hit with the longbow. So I'm going to say fire her longbow. All right, so Vasha stands carefully in the rocking boat, her elven eyes narrowing as she draws her longbow and takes aim at the wounded goblin at the ramp. The shadows give the goblin partial cover, so he gets a +2 bonus to AC. Go ahead and roll Vasha's attack roll with her longbow and let me know the result. All right, so she does not roll good. She rolls, so she got an 11. It's probably going to be a miss. Vasha looses the arrow with a sharp twang, but the goblin, wild-eyed and wounded, ducks reflectively behind the stone lip of the ramp. The arrow clatters off the wall behind him, missing by inches. Breven's turn. You're still in the boat near the cave mouth. The goblin is ahead, still on the ramp, barely alive. You see Rainfair's magic and Vasha's arrow both target him. What would you like Breven to do? All right, so Breven is going to cast Starry Whips. All right, got it. Breven invokes Starry Whips, calling on Druidic magic to hurl a mote of radiant starlight at the goblin. All right, so ChatGPT doesn't know what Starry Whips is. So I will just roll and tell it what it is. All right. He makes an attack roll and rolls a 17 to hit. Breven's fingers swirl through the air as a glimmering mote of starlight forms in his palm. With a flick of his wrist, he sends the starry whip streaking across the cave. The radiant sparks slam into the goblin's chest, searing through the armor with celestial fire. The goblin shrieks, then topples backward onto the stone dead. The sentry is defeated. But the echo of his scream still lingers, and now you hear rapid footsteps and the clatter of wood and metal from deeper within the cave. Grom's turn. The immediate threat is gone, but reinforcements may be seconds away. What does Grom do? I'm going to have Grom leap into the shallow water and climb the ramp to take position. Grom Grunt stands in the rocky boat and leaps into the frigid water with a heavy splash. The water reaches just above his knees, cold but not enough to slow him. He sloshes quickly to the base of the ramp and climbs up onto the stone, now standing over the body of the fallen goblin sentry. Just as he plants his feet on the ramp, he hears voices ahead, goblin chatter, excited and panic. From around the corner, deeper into the cave, 3 more goblins appear. One shouts and knocks over a table for cover, while the others draw short bows. They see Grom. One of them snarls and fires. Round 2 begins. The goblins ahead are 30 feet from Grom behind upturned wooden tables. You are entering a new chamber. Smells of oil, food, and unwashed goblins hang thick in the air. There is a slick pool of spilled cooking oil in the center of the floor between Grom and the goblins. Your turn again. Top of the round. Rainfair is still in the boat. Vasha is still in the boat. Breven is in the boat. Grom is on the ramp in view of 3 goblins behind cover. What did each of your characters do? So ChatGPT is asking me this, but we should be initiative. So I'm going to say, can you resolve one at a time following initiative order? Please, order. Absolutely. We'll proceed in initiative order and resolve each character's actions one at a time. Here's the current situation again. All right, so it tells me the situation again. And now it's Rainfair's turn. All right, so I'm gonna have Rainfair cast Eldritch Blast. Rainfair stands in the boat, lifts her head, and channels infernal energy as a swirling Eldritch Blast coils from her palm. She targets the first goblin peeking over the edge of the overturned table. He has 3/4 cover, which gives him a +5 to AC due to the table barricade. Make your attack roll and let me know the result. All right, that's a 7. That's definitely going to be a miss. Rainfair releases the Eldritch Blast and the crackling beam of force scorches through the air, but the goblin ducks just in time behind the upturned table. The blast slams into the stone wall, sending chips of rock flying. The goblin cackles and shouts something rude in Goblin. All right, so it's Vasha's turn. I'm going to have Vasha ready her longbow and fire when the goblin is not behind cover. Vasha narrows her eyes, draws an arrow, and steadies her longbow. She holds her breath, waiting for the goblin to make a mistake, to lean too far, expose too much, or dart out of cover. She whispers to herself, "Come on, just poke your ugly head out." Her action is ready. She will fire at the moment one of the goblins is not behind cover. All right, so it's Brevin's turn. I'm going to have Brevin readies Starry Whips and will cast when any goblin is not behind cover. Brevin cups a faint mote of starlight in his hand, the glow barely flickering as he steadies himself in the boat. He whispers an incantation and watches the goblin closely, prepared to launch Starry Whips the moment one of them steps out of cover. "Come out, little beast. I have something for you." He's now ready in action to cast Starry Whips at the first goblin that exposes itself. All right, Grom's turn. I am going to have Grom rage. I'm going to have him rage and take the dodge action. Grom snarls, his muscles tension as he enters a rage. His eyes flare with fury and his breath fogs the cold cave air. He plants his feet firmly on the stone ramp and raises his weapon defensively. With a low growl, he takes the dodge action, ready to avoid whatever comes next. His form sways like a coiled spring, daring the goblins to make a move. All right, so the goblins go. The goblins behind the table shout and curse in Goblin. One of them leaps up to return fire on Grom, exposing himself for the moment. All right, so now Vasha and Brevin can get their attacks off. All right, so Vasha rolls an 11. Brevin rolls a 9. Those aren't good rolls. Both projectiles fly in the same heartbeat. Vasha's arrow slices the air but glances off the edge of the overturned table as the goblin ducks again. Brevin's Starry Whip streaks past the goblin's head and sputters out against the cavern wall in a harmless flash of light. The goblin freezes mid-moment, eyes wide open, realizing just how close he came to death. Still, with Grom raging at the edge of the slick floor, the goblins aren't eager to charge in. 2 goblins fire short bows at Grom. They have disadvantage from his dodge action, and he has resistance to damage from rage. First goblin misses wide. Second goblin arrow skitters across the stone, harmlessly bouncing off the ramp. The third goblin stays low, nervously clutching his weapon. All right. So we got round 3. It's Rainfair's turn. All right, so she's gonna ready Eldritch Blast again. Vasha will ready a longbow attack. Raven will ready Starry Whips. Grom stays put and continues dodging. All right, so we're gonna get off the attacks. Rainfair rolls a 19. Vasha rolls a 20. And Breven 17. All right, the Rex hits across the board. First goblin is dead. 2 other goblins remain. They screech an alarm, ducking behind the tables again. One fires a desperate shot at Grom, but it whistles past his head harmlessly. All right, we're going to do it all again. Vasha's gonna ready longbow. And Breven's gonna ready Starry Whips. And Grom's still dodging. If the strategy ain't broke, don't try to fix it. All right. So another one pops off a shot. Rainfair. Gets a 20. Vasha gets a 16. And Breven 7. All right, second goblin is dead. And he retreats. All right, so Rainfair will row the boat to shore. Rainfair quickly tucks her spell energy away and grabs the oars. She begins rowing the boat forward, guiding it to the last few feet through the cold, shallow water and pulling alongside the stone ramp where Grom is standing. The front of the boat bumps the edge with a gentle duck. You are now all able to disembark at the cave entrance. Alright, so Vasha will jump out of the boat. Vasha leaps lightly from the boat, landing with the quick grace of an elf besides Grom on the damp stone ramp. She immediately scans the dark passage ahead, bow still drawn, listening for the goblin's retreat. The faint echoes of panicked footfalls still fade deeper into the cave. Alright, so Breathing will disembark. Breathing carefully climbs out of the boat, boots splashing in the cold water before stepping up onto the stone ramp beside his companions. Now all four of you stand at the entrance of the next chamber. The faint scent of oil, smoke, and goblin filth clings to the air. Ahead lies a shadowy chamber lit by a few low burning torches. You see overturned wooden tables, broken barrels, and spilt cooking oil slicking the floor. The last goblin has clearly fled deeper inside. Alright, you've cleared the entry and the first wave. What would you like to do now? So I'm going to stop right there. I'm not going to play the whole adventure for you, but just want to show you that you can literally upload an adventure, give ChatGPT some instructions, and it can help you to be able to actually play that adventure. So try it out. Let me know how it works for you. And this could be another way that you can play solo or GMless. Letting ChatGPT run all of the published adventures you own in PDF format. Just upload it to ChatGPT and you can actually run the adventure and play.